Ultraman Arc's movie takes place between episodes 21 and 22 of the show, which I believe is a relatively new direction for these modern Ultra series tie-in films. They're usually set post-series, but make no mistake, this film is intended to be watched after the show, chronology be darned. The narrative framing device used in the cold open of the film is literally post-series Yuma recounting the events of the movie, which is basically just 3 episodes worth of story stitched together. There is a narrative and thematic through-line stringing them all together, but then the movie also flat out throws up title cards to signify the start of each episode, as it were. It comes off a bit like these are a collection of ideas that the production team wanted to do in the TV series proper, they just couldn't get around to it for one reason or another, so here they are. The obvious one that is promoted in the trailer is the titular Ultra facing off against his twisted doppelganger of sorts, and they also give Arc a human-sized battle. Always a fun-sized change of pace, that. But that's purely the spectacle. Obviously, the meat of these little vignettes is the way they play with the characters. The first of these cases creates a sort of reversal between Yuma and Shu's typical roles in their group dynamics. Shu touches on a really interesting gap in Yuma's philosophy that was never really touched on in the series proper. Yuma trusts people by default, but kaiju a lot less so. In this specific instance, Yuma's far more reliant on available statistics, hearkening more on the side of caution. It's not like Shu outright chastises Yuma for viewing things this way, but Yuma nonetheless needs to learn to see beyond mere data values. In some ways, it's the same lesson that Shu learns in episode 6, applied to Yuma. And while, yeah, it's a little strange that the lesson is somewhat being regurgitated here, it's also kind of really important that they re-establish it for the second half of the movie, because the third and last vignette of the film directly follows off that tiny little character thread woven into the aforementioned 6th episode of the show. The thing that made Shu distrust aliens is back, and yeah, obviously it's a problem. The strange thing is that you'd think that this is a setup so that Shu gets to work through his problems by literally blowing up his issues, and while that technically does happen, apparently his memory of the event is kind of hazy following the fact. So, like, does Shu actually know he got closure? He seems emotionally fulfilled during the conclusion of the movie anyway, so I guess that's fine. Beyond that, this movie is just more Arc, in more ways than one, now that I think about it. So if you already like the show, it should be a very easy and breezy hour and 15 minutes. Just about the runtime of 3 episodes. Huh.